We construct hub. We construct hub. Are we ready?
Yes, you are live now.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's section. How poor design decisions are quietly increasing your material costs and how to fix it. My name is Sarah Nwese Benjamin, your host, and with me is Anna.
Oh, I am Adewiolu actually.
Okay, thank you. We have all been on projects where the budget seems to leak from a thousand tiny cuts. Often we look at labor or market fluctuations, but today we are looking closer to home. The drawing board, over-engineering, lack of material optimization, and playing it safe. Without technical precision, are silent budget killers. Hidden costs. Our goal is to give you the practical tools to identify design inefficiencies early so you can deliver high quality structures without unnecessary price tags. We have with us seasoned professionals coming to do justice to this topic. Thank you for joining us. Let's get started. So we'll do a quick breakdown of who we are, who we construct of is all about. So my partner Oluwakemi will give us a brief intro about we construct of before we start. Thank you. Over to you, Kemi.
So WeConstructor is a technology-driven construction platform founded to simplify how construction professionals, stakeholders, and aspiring. Sorry, I did not know. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. You are mute again. Kemi, you are mute. Okay, so I think she's having a network issue or something. So we'll come to that later. Maybe after our first speaker, then we'll come. We Constructor, we are an online market platform where you go shop your material and it will be delivered at your doorstep. So before she will explain more about We Constructor, we want to dive in quickly to read our first speaker citation so that we'll not waste much time. Just hold on a minute. Okay, our speaker here said he has not been able to join. We Constructor, please can you attend to that? Thank you for that correction, sir, for that intro. Okay, thank you. Can we all hear me? Hello, sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, with you.
Okay. Mr. Latif, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. I was about to read your profile. Sorry, I didn't even notice you are not on the call. So sorry about that, sir.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm about to read your citation. Profile: Lateef Bolaji Olariwaju. Sorry, sir, for murdering your name. MCIPS UK, MILT UK, CPSP, CITLS. Lateef is a seasoned procurement and logistics professional with over a decade of hand-on experience, driving the complex supply chain behind Nigeria's most critical infrastructure. Academic excellence and technical roots. He holds a foundational background in building, graduating as the best student from both the Federal Polytechnic Ede and Obafemi Awolowo University (OAU). This technical lens allow him to manage procurement with an intimate understanding of engineering specification and site realities. A decade of high-impact projects. Over the last 10 years, Lateef has been a key driver in the import and export space for massive organizational projects, including energy and power generation, managing the end-to-end logistics for high-value assets and specialized equipment for Sterling Oil, (SIPCO), and Wasilla Marine and Power Services. Large-scale construction and infrastructure orchestrating the strategic sourcing and procurement of critical materials for Boyce Construction and Construction Tesa Limited. Complex engineering supply chain leading the logistics and importance of heavy-duty steel and structural components for Nivafa Engineering and Construction Limited. Global credits: corporate member of African Centre for Supply Chain, charter member of CIP UK, member of CILT UK, executive MBA candidate at Quantic School of Business and Technology, specializing in advanced finance statement and strategic business management, World Bank certified in contract management, public procurement and sustainable public procurement. Postgraduate diploma distinction from the Nigeria Institute of Transport Technology. With a round sound of applause, let's welcome Mr. Lateef Bolaji Olariwaju to the floor. Thank you so much, sir, for having us. Thank you so much for coming to share us your
Thank you. Thank you very
yours you
much.
have.
Please
Thank you for
continue
your
and hear you.
presentation. Yes, sir, we can hear you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. Just to correct the name, it's fine, but I need to switch off my camera because I'm actually not. I'm on a work trip, and the network can be funny. Thank
Okay,
you.
sir, no problem. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. And today we are going to discuss a silent killer in our industry, the construction industry. How failures often rooted in early design decisions, basically. How they quietly drain our project budgets. We believe that building profitably starts with procuring transparently. As much as possible, we want to build that very structurally intelligent edifice within the required. But you would agree with me that if you look around us, if you look around you, you would see that there are some projects that you struggle to deliver within the timeline. Sometimes the client has to invoke LED on some of these projects before the contractor is able to complete. And even sometimes the contractor eventually run away because the costs, he already had a cost overrun on his project. So what's the problem? The first one, let's talk about cost overruns. The reality of our industry is sobering, really. 90% of construction projects globally exceed their original budget. You can check it. The facts speak for itself, basically. On large infrastructure projects, that figure can hit 80%. We've accepted cost overruns. Sometimes in this space, we've accepted cost overruns as the norm. When the budget person, it depends on how big or small one organization is. Some organizations have a particular office for cost control. They call that role a cost controller, basically. And some, maybe the QS will be the one to be controlling the cost in some cases as well. So basically, we've all accepted cost overrun as the norm, but these are often traceable back to decisions made before a single brick was laid. Before you even start talking about going physically to site to start constructing, some of these you must have checked all these boxes, all these boxes before you say you are going to site to work. What are the root causes? When you look at it, why does this happen? Why do we have costs? First, over specification. Sometimes you get to know that this particular project can be done. Hello? Can you see
Yes,
me?
sir, can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
over specification is one of the issues. Choosing premium materials when standard ones would do. There are some projects that if you are not technically savvy when it comes to construction, you think that that particular material that was given to you or that was recommended to you by maybe the client or maybe the technical team is actually the only material you can use. when there are alternative materials that will not cost you so much, and you will still achieve the same objective at the end of the day. So when you over specify, you are going to have an effect on the cost at the end of the day. Secondly, you talk about late design changes. Towards the end of maybe the kickoff of the project, the architect just came up and said, we have a design. Already had your budget done, probably approved. Now you have to go back because there is a design change. You now have to go back and start working out something. Maybe you don't even have the time, but at the end of the day, you realize that except in cases where you have value engineering done on that particular design, value engineering is saying we want to try and see how to optimize, how to probably not to reduce the scope, but you are trying to see if there are other ways of achieving the same objectives while sticking to the initial plan. What's the end goal? In procurement, we have two different specifications. We call one conformance specification and the other one performance specification. Sorry, are you supposed to share my slides? I forgot to mention that.
Don't worry, since you are on the trip and we don't want to have any technical glitch, so you can go ahead and share the slide later.
Since you have it, you can share. You can share the slide since you have it.
Okay.
That's already.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. We constructor, can we share this slide? We're working on that. Just continue. Work on that.
Yes, please. So basically, what I'm saying is late design changes trigger rush orders and restocking fees. The third one would be to talk about incomplete scoping and ignoring market prices. You are going to bid for a project. You are bidding for a project this year, say May 2026, and you went back to your archives and used the last year price. It's not going to work because most times or oftentimes you realize that even the project you are bidding for now, maybe it will not even start until Q1 2027. So all of this, you need to factor in the difference in time before you can say you are bidding for a project, if you want to complete that project. So ignoring market prices lead to quantity errors and budgets that are dead on arrival. Even before you complete the generation of the budget, you realize that it is no longer useful for that. Then we talk about ensuring that you look keenly at blind spots. What does that mean? Procurement goes wrong when we rely on blind spots. Bidding for a 2026 project using May 2025 data, just as I mentioned, can leave a 15% price gap. This is statistics, and you can check out the facts. Concrete alone in I remember I handled a project between 2021 and 2023. If you are very familiar with what happened that period, you would know that we had some issues with Forex. We had some issues with cash flow. There were lots of foreign exchange. Foreign exchange wasn't stable. Today, you can get concrete price at say 55,000 per cubic meter, and the next morning you wake up and Lafarge or any of these concrete manufacturing company tells you the price is now 60,000 because of diesel price. Diesel price jacked up really high at that time. So we had some of these issues coming up almost at the same time. Prices were not stable. What I'm saying is all those blind spots has to be taken care of. Relying on informal quotes from suppliers instead of verified intelligence is a recipe for a 16% budget overrun. We need to take care of that as well. So the first strategy that we need to use to ensure that we don't run into issues like this is to have access to reliable, up-to-date prices. It's very important. We monitor the producer price index, which we call PPI, every month. Sometimes I get prices from some of the manufacturers in China. They share prices of steel. They share steel market prices with me on almost a daily, on a monthly basis, because I have asked them that I want to have an idea of what is happening in the steel market. It is very important, so that if I'm going to be bidding for any project for my organization, I need to have an idea of what the price is saying, so that we'll also factor in the difference. Let's say the price of steel went up by 5% from April 2026 to May 2026. That means whatever project that I'm managing at that time, I have to factor in that cost. I have to factor in that difference into it. So we need to be up to date with price change. That will help us a long way. It's PPI is the most reliable signal that we have at the moment. Never use historical data, except if you want to probably run a trend analysis on. You want to have a report on that trend analysis that shows the difference in price from last year to date. But if you are going to be working on projects, you want to say something?
Sorry to interject. Your slide is on. Your slide is up.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yes, it's fine. Thank you.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Okay. I want to tell you so that you can make reference to that.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. So, as I mentioned, if you look at the first on the slide, you see track produce people get current quotes from suppliers, from your suppliers, from OEMs. Then the first point of call for me is to try and work with OEMs. I'm trying to I try as much as possible to cut off some unnecessary hands in the supply chain. If I'm dealing directly with an OEM, I'm rest assured that I'm buying the quality materials. OEM is able to provide me with some documentation that I even need to seek approval to get. I need my data sheet. I need my my material safety data sheets. I can easily get all of this from the OEM. So my first point of call is to work with an OEM. I'm able to also, once it start getting to the retailers, to partners, for partners, they can even still be able to give me very reasonable price. But for when you start getting to retailers, then I may not have so much control on the price. So then we talk about using technology-driven price platforms. It's very key. We have access with this particular supplier. Maybe the particular supplier is just trying to rip you off because he or she knows that you don't have the market intelligence to check these prices. If someone tells you today that the price of diesel is 2,000 naira, you query it. Why is the price of diesel 2,000 naira? Let me take a walk to NFGD. Why is the price of diesel 2,000 naira? Let me take a walk to NFGD, to the closest filling station in my area, and get the price. Maybe it's different. So these are ways that you can actually check for some of these prices. We can go to the next slide, please. So we need to also reduce losses from supply inconsistencies. Vet your vendors rigorously. Not try and categorize your vendors. Categorize them based on what they do. The era of I'm a general supplier does not work anymore. You can be a general supplier, but you cannot be specialist in those in general things. It doesn't work that way. So if really you want to get value from whatever you are procuring, whatever you are using on your site, ensure that you have specialists. You have these that are specialists that specialize on the particular material you want to buy. Still, have your vendor list categorized. You have your steel vendors, you have your cement, you have your concrete, you have your granite aggregates generally, you have your finishing, talking about the ceiling works, talking about you have your HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning units, talking about your AC, your chiller, you need to be able to have those vendors categorized. The era of saying I'm a general supplier should be off the table. Because of time, I need to quickly. Then the third strategy will be to make smarter decisions with verified data. Once you're able to verify that the data you have is concrete, then you make smarter decisions with it. Because if you don't have verified data, you would you only be making guesses, and you may be wrong. Guesses will not give you the facts that you are looking for. Benchmark every quote against market indices before you commit. When you know that, okay, vendor, hey, I got this price for this particular amount. So is it that you are in or out? Do you think you can do business? Yes, no. But because the vendor would at that point know that you have this market information, he or she will be willing or will be forced to sell to you. You move from being reactive, right? The idea is to move from being reactive to price spikes to being proactive with data-backed budgets and tighter margin control. The action plan, let me quickly wrap up here. The action plan is, before you bid, add that escalation factor and get quotes. No, nothing. So in some cases, you have some quotations from vendors that say this quote is valid for 30 days. You should try as much as possible to have quotations that are valid for at least 90 days, right? During procurement, when we are now doing the actual procurement, we paid you some money and you were not able to deliver. Some of these things are those things that you need to ensure that you ask them. You find out, you can even put a call to the company, check it out. How viable is this vendor? How good are they? They said they are partners to this OEM. Can you go online on the website of the OEM to even verify if these vendors exist on their website? Do they have certificate of distributorship, for example? Do they have anything to show that this particular partner actually works with the OEM? These are ways that you need to verify that, okay, this vendor we are actually talking about knows what he's doing. In summary, because I think I've already overused the time. So there are 3 core strategies. Reliable price access, you need it, it's very important. You need to be able to manage your supply inconsistencies, and you need to be able to bank on using verified market data. I would like to stop there. If we have other time, then we can discuss extensively. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for this wonderful knowledge and incitement on this topic. And we are really blessed to have you on this call. So we'll move to our second speaker. We want to get all the lectures before we ask questions because of time. I understand how busy you guys are, so I want to see how we could manage our time. So reading our next speaker's citation. Oluwakemi, are you ready for this now?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, apologies.
Okay.
Apologies.
Okay.
I mentioned that you work
Okay,
trip,
sir.
and I think I have to
Okay, sir. No problem.
leave the call. Okay, thank you.
Don't worry. You can once you are available, I will send you the questions.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Yes, I'll send you. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you so much. We do appreciate that. So to the next speaker, Oluwakemi, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, shoot.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, so our next speaker is architect Adiza Badamisi Abdulaziz. Architect Adiza Badamisi Abdulaziz is an accomplished architect with over 15 years of professional experience, spanning sustainable design, project development, and urban regulatory practice. She currently works with the Kaduna State Urban Planning and Development Authority, KASUPDA, where she plays a key role in vetting architectural designs, conducting compliance inspections, and ensuring adherence to planning regulations. She holds a master's degree in architecture at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, with a growing research interest in sustainable procurement and green development systems. She serves as the chairperson of the Female Architects of Nigeria, Kaduna chapter, and as chair of membership and engagement at the Green Building Council Nigeria, where she contributes to advancing sustainable building practices and professional engagements nationwide. Architect Adiza is a registered member of the Nigerian Institute of Architects and the American Institute of Architects. And she holds multiple professional certifications, including Edge Expert Training, DGNB International Consultant, DGNB ESG Manager, and Life Cycle Assessment Specialist. Beyond professional practice, she is the lead assessor with the Community Actions for Sustainable and Resilient Habitats Initiative. Our work focuses on climate action, environmental sustainability, and community resilience through advocacy, training, and grassroots engagement. Please join me to welcome architect Adiza. You have the floor, ma.
Ma, you're mute. You're mute.
For that, thank you for that interesting introduction. I'm excited to be here with you. I would also like to take off my camera because I've been having network issue trying to join and it was taking me off and bringing me back. So let me just take it off so that the network will be stronger. Thank you.
Okay, ma, no problem. Thank you.
Okay, can you still hear me?
Loud and clear, ma.
Okay, so good day, everyone, distinguished guests, professionals, colleagues, and stakeholders in the built environment. It is a privilege to speak with you today on this topic that affects nearly every construction project, whether large or small, public or private. Across Nigeria today, rising material prices, inflation, currency fluctuation, and project delay are putting serious pressure on construction budget. So many people assume that these losses come only from market, but in reality, let me tell you, a large percentage of these avoidable costs begin more earlier, and that is from poor planning, weak coordination, and then design decision made before construction even started. Today, I would like to share how poor design decision quality, increase material costs, and more important, how smart procurement system and digital tools can help us fix this problem. So, second slide, please. Okay, so why this topic matters? Make things more expensive and then rework or poor planning leads to extra spending. Delays are not just longer just scheduling, let me tell you, scheduling issue. They are cost multipliers. Every correction made late, I'm still repeating, every correction made late becomes significantly more expensive than if it was caught early. So rework is quietly draining project budget. It increased labor, waste material, and force repeated procurement. So the biggest cost risk today is not just inflation, it is poor design decision. Every wrong and unclear design choice has a direct financial consequence. So if design decision is this powerful, where exactly are we getting it wrong? And how do we fix it before it costs us? Second slide, please. So materials, as I say, material waste start from design, not the site. Material waste does not start on site. It starts from the design table, as I said. We often blame workers and site manager for waste, but many of those issues are already built in the drawing. The studies shows that about 30 to 40% of construction waste comes from design errors, not execution. So incomplete drawing leads to guesswork. Over-design increases unnecessary material use. Poor coordination causes clashes and rework. In a high inflation environment like Nigeria, waste is more dangerous. Even 10% of material can lead to up to 30 budget increase, whether you like it or not, because replacing material later is much more expensive. So waste is not just technical issue, it is cost problem created early in the project. So if waste is designed into the problem, what specific design mistake are causing this, and how do we avoid that? Can you still hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please, next slide. So where the problem starts. To understand rising costs, we need to trace where the problem actually starts. So cost overrun does not happen suddenly, as I said before. It follows a chain of small decisions. It follows a chain of small decisions. Poor design decision, as I put it on my slide, it means everything begins with the design. Incomplete, unclear, unrealistic design create the foundation for errors. If I say unrealistic, please don't just go and see a design in Dubai and then think you want to bring it to Nigeria. My dear brothers and sisters, at the end of the day, it might not work. You see, the difference between Nigerian and, let me just give you a scenario. Nigerian, when we design, we think about cost. At Dubai, when they design, they don't think about cost. They think about crazy design, just deliver something beautiful, something extraordinary, something out of this world. While we in Nigeria, when you design, you have to consider cost. So that is very important whenever you are bringing out your design. So wrong quantity, wrong BOQ. If the design is flawed, the bill of quantity will also be inaccurate. You either underestimate or overestimate what is needed. Then wrong quantity leads to poor procurement decision. You either buy too much, that's a waste, or too little, and that will lead to delays or emergency purchasing. Excess material gets damaged, unused, or destroyed, in fact, stolen. Storage can lead to rush replacement at high price, and then cost overrun at the end. All these small issues accumulate into major budget overruns. Please, next slide. So the real cost. Let's look at the design problem translate into real financial impact on a project. Okay. When design change during construction, let's look under the design change. Whether you like it, when the design change during construction, work already done has to be redone. You pay for more labor and materials twice. This is one of the most expensive mistakes. Then under poor BOQ, which is lead to over ordering, stockpiling, inaccurate quantities lead to buying more than needed. Excess material gets stored, damaged, or never used. So try tying up project fund. All these things will tie up your project fund. And then wrong specification, using incorrect or unclear specification lead to material being rejected on site. This causes delay, replacement costs, and then sometimes waste. Definitely, I've mentioned it before. So next slide, please. So common design mistake. Most cost problem does not come from one big mistake. They come from common design issue we often overlook. When drawing lacks details, as I've said before, the site team is forced to assume. When when you design when you design wrongly, at the end of the day, it will lead to guesswork, often lead to over-ordering or wrong execution. What seems like a small omission can quickly turn into material waste and extra cost. So sometimes we design beyond what is actually required, as I've said before. When you want to design, you understand, when you want to design, you should make sure that you are designing something that is workable in your environment. And there's one thing that I always say, that the architects are always the procurement manager. They are trained to be procurement manager, whether you are called a procurement manager or not. Whether you are called a project manager or not, you're already a project manager, because you do your design, and I believe the architect is the best person to manage your project. So when you start having this kind of issues, you lose your client's confidence, as in when your client started finding out that you're over designing, and over designing would definitely lead to over costing. You start losing your client, and then gradually start losing jobs. Please go to the next slide. So next slide, please. I'm just trying to rush through. So, and digital arsenal. I always recommend that, before I even go into the slide, I always recommend that at this junction that we have, this era that we are, we're already in Industry 4.0. Whatever you're going to do, always leverage your work with technology. It has reached a stage that people don't consider not really the effort, let me say, but they consider efficiency, timely delivery, and then effective work. You understand? So I'm trying to leverage this with technology. Whatever you're going to do, leverage it with technology. So let's start with BIM. BIM creates a coordinate digital model where everything is connected. It reduces errors by making clashes and mistakes visible before construction starts. And this idea is simple. If it does not fit in the model, then it won't fit in the site. Please, when you're doing you're using your Revit ArchiCAD or ArchiCAD, and then you're seeing some things are refusing to blend into your work or your model or your 3D, please just know that it's not workable. Just try and find a better way to handle it. Then the use of VDC, that's virtual design and construction, which is a digital arena. VDC allows us to simulate the entire construction process before work begins. It helps test sequencing, detect problem early, and plan material usage accurately. This ensures material arrive exactly when and where they are needed, reducing waste and delays. Then the ERP system is connecting design to finance. The ERP links the design process directly to the cost and procurement system. It ensures that what is drawn by the architect is reflected in the project budget in real time. This improves cost control, accountability, and then financial planning. So these tools are not just software, they are cost control systems. They connect design, construction, and finance into one integrated process. So when design, execution, and budget are connected digitally, mistakes reduce, waste reduce, and cost control becomes more stronger. Next slide, please. So under preventing cost from the design stage, the best way to control cost is not on site, it is from the design. I've been repeating this thing more than once. It's just for me to continue letting you to understand that every problem starts from the design. Every line you put on your drawing sheet, please let it have a meaning. Don't think that because you're an one kind of big, you got a big project and you're feeling you have arrived, then you just feel like you just draw lines everywhere. My dear brother and sister, you're only causing problem for yourself, because at the end of the day, you cause problem for yourself, for the client, especially because all the money will be coming from the client. And then, as I said, as time goes on, when they find out that all what you do is just design without thinking, you end up losing customers. So, as I say, poor design brief. A clear and detailed design brief sets the foundation for the entire project. Whether requirements are well defined, there is less confusion and fewer challenges later. So, in fact, getting it right early prevents the change orders that actually destroy project. So, under the multidisciplinary collaboration, we're talking about sustainability. Sustainability doesn't have to mean only planting trees or simulating building. Sustainability also incorporates efficient coordination between the architect, the engineers, and other consultants. They must work together from the beginning. Early coordination helps identify clashes and inconsistencies before construction starts. So this reduces, as I said, continuously reduce rework, delays, and then unnecessary costs. So under buildability, design must reflect what is practical and available in the local Nigerian market. Especially specifying materials that are hard to source leads to delays and then expensive alternative. Designing with locally available material ensures smoother procurement and cost control. We're all talking about sustainability, whether we like it or not here. So cost control is not about cutting corners. It is about making the right decision early in the design process. Whether design is clear, coordinated, or practical, project run smoother, waste reduced, and then budget stay under control. Let's start. So market survey and need assessment. Before any material is purchased, a simple check can prevent major cost mistake. This is what we call the pre-procurement checklist, making sure that we buy the right things at the right time and at the right price. So under need assessment, confirm the BOQ quantity matches the current stage of the project. As in current stage of the project. Let me put it this way. Maybe someone designed last year and then they did the BOQ for you last year. When you want to start your building, I think you need to do your BOQ so that you upgrade it to the current market value as of that time. Don't procure material too early or for the wrong phase. Always compare the BOQ with drawings, specifications, and actual site conditions. As I said, the goal is simple. What is on paper must align with what is needed on the site. Then under market survey, never rely on all or estimated prices. Cross-check project rates with current market prices. This helps avoid overpaying and improve budget accuracy. So logistics checks consider how material will be transported and stored offsite. Pure handling can lead to double handling, damaging or theft. These hidden costs can greatly increase your project expenses. Let's say like this. So procurement challenges. So the graph illustrates the volatile nature of materials, directly showing the impact of inflation and supply inconsistency. So the solution, your material price tag, which is called MPT, acts as a command center, enabling real-time data tracking to mitigate risks, optimize purchasing strategies, and then strengthen suppliers' relationship. So by presenting this price data, you can negotiate on the position of knowledge. What you have knowledge, when you are you know what you're doing, and you know the actual price and what is going on, trying to see the fluctuation price and everything. It will ensure you to get a fair price and build a stronger and longer in partnership with a reliable supplier. Next. So under ensure proper supervision. So whether supervision is a very important aspect of your final design. Even the best design will without proper supervision side. So regular supervision helps identify mistakes before escalating. Early detection prevents small errors from turning into cost reward work. So keep a close eye under monitoring material use and workmanship. Make sure you keep a close eye on how material are used on site. That is very important. How handling is misused, and then the workmanship leads to waste and extra costs. Supervision ensures work done right. The first time means just elaborate on that one. Just in time means that your material comes at the time that you want to use it. Don't go and buy material and just come and stock it on your side. Number one, you have, and some of them even won't export. And then I believe that if you create supply relations, this is a very important aspect of strategic procurement. Supply relationship. If you have a good relationship with your supplier, you can buy any work from the supplier. You understand? And then whenever you need in the site, you have a small stock, and then you bring stuff like you need for a short period of time, then you make use of it. So therefore, for site execution, post supervision, check, and then waste out costs and control. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, practical implementation. So now let's bring everything together into a simple practical workflow you can apply on a project. This is a step-by-step approach to reduce waste, cost, control cost, and improve efficiency from design to execution. From design stage, start with a coordinated digital model to reduce errors and clashes, like using your Revit, just as I said, your Revit, BIM and others, like the one I listed behind. Then ensure all these things are aligned before construction begins. The goal is accuracy before. The goal is accuracy from the beginning. And under your BOQ, to get an accurate BOQ, use the digital to generate quantities directly from the design. This minimizes human error, improves estimation, and then a reliable BOQ sets a foundation for a proper procurement. Then you go for your market check. Always validate your project price against current market rate. This helps you to stay ahead of inflation and avoid unnecessary costs. Price should reflect real-time market inflation, not assumption. To verify your sourcing, work with reliable and verified suppliers to ensure consistency. This reduces risk of delay, poor quality materials, or partial deliveries. Strong sourcing improves both cost control and project reliability. So under your supply, your site supervision, ensure that the work on site matches the design and specification. Monitor material use, workmanship, and delivery pattern. This is where plans are enforced and cost leakage and control. Cost control was not one action. It's a continuous process from design to delivery. Okay, to delivery. So when just go to the next slide, let's see. I think I'm on the last slide. So thank God. So the solution framework I just delivered is a 360 solution. The design fix move from complex to material efficient. Design using BIM to eliminate waste before the first stone is laid. Bridge the gap between studio and the site using real-time price intelligence, just like the one that and as I just said, leverage on platform like reconstruction to bridge the gap between estimate VOQ rate and actual market rate. Utilize verified digital market data to bypass middlemen, avoid inflation prices, and then ensure every naira spent is tracked and verified. So, in conclusion, please, I have to jump some things. In conclusion, please, we must realize that a truly sustainable building isn't just one that uses green materials. I have to bring sustainability in whatever we do, as I said before. It is one that is financially and operationally resilient. It is about zero waste. In my research into Industrial 4.0 and sustainable inventory management, which I'm just doing recently, I found out that waste is the biggest enemy of built environment. When we make all design decision, or use outdated price data, we are not just wasting money, we are wasting resources and time. The 360 solution I have shared today is about more than just cutting costs. It is about professional integrity. By using precision in our design and leveraging on modern platforms, like I'm still giving an example, reconstruction hub for market data. We move our industry away from guessing and then towards a transparent, efficient, and sustainable future. Let's stop building by accident, please, and start building by design. Thank you.
Okay.
I don't know if it's from my own end. I can't seem to hear you, Sarah. I can't seem to hear you. The network is.
Okay. Can you hear me now, ma'am?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Oluwakemi, are you ready? Okay. Our network is acting up. So I just have two questions, one for you and one for Mr. So we will not waste much of the time. So my stage of design to inefficiency usually start with creeping.
As I said from the presentation, it is from your design. Whatever you're going to do, you need to coordinate with other allied professionals, just like the engineering, the MIE, the structural engineer. So by the time you handle it from the beginning, I think every other thing is a story. And then, as I said, leverage on softwares. because software helps you to reduce error. That's the essence of coming in of software, to make our work faster, efficient, and then effective. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Latif, are you still with us? Mr. Latif, are you still with us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Okay. I have a question. Yes, sir. How important is real-time management? Are you ready? Can I ask?
Please go ahead.
Okay. How important is real-time material pricing and market data in making decisions today? How important? Shall I come again with the question?
Yes, please. I lost you for a few seconds.
Okay. I said, how important is real-time material pricing and market data in making better design decisions today?
Okay, thank you for that question. When you have when you are working with real data in terms of pricing, it is extremely important today because you most likely will not get it wrong in terms of pricing. If you are going to bid for a project, for example, and you are using last year's price, maybe the price of Riba last year was 1 million per ton, for example, and this year it has risen to 1.5 million. If you are using the cost of 1 million naira, that means you are not even, if you are setting up a budget based on 1 million naira, it means whatever you are using as a budget, I'm not even the project. You cannot even be able to get the material, let alone profit. So it is very key that we use real-time material pricing for us to be able to bid for projects. Even when you are bidding for project that you know that before you can start this project, you need about maybe another 2-3 months. You need to factor in that timeline before you can say that yes, I'm bidding for this project. There's a project that we bid for today that we are going to be executing maybe in another 6 months. It happens like that. So you need to factor in that particular time to say, looking at the historical data, how much, what was the price increase from 6 months ago till now? Then we can actually factor in that particular difference when if we are bidding for a project that we know we only keep off in another 6 months. So this is all trying to edge against price increase, right? So if you want to real-time material prices, not historical material prices. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, I have one question for Architect Adiza. It says, BIM, BDC, and ERP system are powerful solutions, but adoption in Nigeria remains low. What is the single biggest barrier stopping Nigeria construction professionals from embracing these tools, and where do you suggest people start? Now, do you get the question?
Okay, yeah, I heard you. So let me start from saying that from my own assumption, please. Changes, okay, let's say firstly, we're developing countries. So most of the time, new technology comes in slowly, not as fast as we think. And then mostly it comes as, and I appreciate Lagos. Lagos is a key point that they embrace technology immediately it comes, according to my research. So what I will tell you is that as an individual, please don't restrict yourself by saying that this thing is not yet in Nigeria, so it's not workable. My dear colleague, somebody started it in Nigeria, saw it somewhere else and brought it to Nigeria, and then other people are copying. That person opened a way for others to emulate and copy from. Why not you yourself go and study it yourself? Whatever software is it, you can have that access. They are there. You can download, like for instance, like that of the, okay, we have under the sorry, let me digress a little bit. Under that VDC, we have digital tools that is embedded in it, such as the Naviswork, Synchro, and Celibri. The Naviswork, you can get it from Autodex, while the Synchro, you can get it from Bentley System, and then the Celibri from companies is also called Celibri Company. You can get them online. And then if you want to learn it, my dear brothers and sisters, the YouTube is there. That place is a wonderful place for you to upgrade yourself without even being in a class or paying money to go and study anything. Leverage on your YouTube and other free courses. You go online and search, you see them, they are there, and then upgrade yourself and then be the first person to start using. And do you know one funny thing about being the first person to bring in a formula into a space? You get the large client before other people start knowing about it. You have already made your money and you've blew. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful presentation and this answer. So we are about to round up now. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out your time from your busy schedule to come share this knowledge.
Sarah, can you hear me?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? Okay, so I would like to just
Yes, I can hear you.
say a few words. I'd like to say a few words on the back of what Madam Adiza just said. In terms of the usage of software in Nigeria. So I think one of the major issues that I've seen over the years is the cost of some of this software. And the cost for some of this software, Bentley Start Pro, even some of the latest AutoCAD software, you realize that for some organizations that are still more like a small scale organization, they find it hard to sit themselves down and say they are budgeting a particular amount of money annually to run that particular software. So if we have designers in-house, that can actually give us something as good as those software that is internalized, I think it will help us. It will help some of these small-scale organizations to actually be interested in leveling up and using some of this. It's very key. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. I do appreciate. Thank you. We constructors, we really appreciate. So I also want to thank you all for your time and insightful questions. Thank you to our speakers. We do appreciate your time and knowledge shared. Do well to follow us on all our platforms. Check out new materials on our website and shop your building materials. Enjoy the rest of your day and let's go build something efficient. See you on our next section. Thank you and stay blessed. Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.